So should, baby boomers and, the older folks, should they try to drive more purpose into millennials? Should they have a clear communication channel on how to do that?
I think that they need to ask the right questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that the interview process has to change.
Sure.
It's not like, hey, are you usually on time? Ha ha ha. Like, I think it should be like,
That's not good.
it's like, what do you want? Like, do you want to grow business of your own? Like, what would be pure happiness for you?
Sure.
Like, would it be making $100,000 a year?
Sure.
Would it be to have freedoms to go hunt and build business? Or do you want to do all your stuff digitally inside? Like, I think that the interview
You don't
process,
know the values that people
Yeah.
stand.
You
We
got-
all
you
have to.
ha-
We all hold different values.
big time. Me, don't talk to me, let me go make money.
Sure.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm good. Don't talk, but like,
Autonomy.
that's
Yeah.
what
That's your
I want.
personality,
So
yeah.
like, don't hire me and then treat me like the person that's just going to be behind the computer
Right.
and have me domesticated. That's not how I'm built.
But I think it's a two-way role because yes, employers need to know better what to ask, but we also need to know what we bring to the
Oh,
table. So
exactly.
if you're a hunter
Yeah.
and you're like, I just want to be out there, then you would never take a job that was expecting you to be behind a computer.
Sure.
And I would never either because
Sure.
I love to be out and talking and building connections. And so, but I think that's a part
Sure.
of the process. Like a 22-year-old might not know that that what they're wanting or they're good at. So it's a two-way street of like helping and almost like mentoring
Sure.
people to be like, what matters to you?
Right.
Like, what do you care about from a work perspective, from a life perspective? What matters? Like that's, the job of the employer, but we have to get
Be
the
transparent
courage
both
to
ends.
say,
Both
this
ends.
is what
Yeah.
matters to me and this works for me, this doesn't. Like, it's more of a communication style than anything that I think will like give businesses more of the ability to grow instead of just saying, here's your job,
Right.
here's the description, and this is what you're going to do like, we just don't want to be told
Right.
that shit. Like,
Right,
we want to
right.
be, like, have it be a creative process, a collaborative process, and I think we just are right now maybe lacking the skills to, like, actually make that come to fruition.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That we all have responsibility, and you can offset that however you want to,
Sure.
but at the end of the day, don't be bitching if
Well,
you're
and
not
I
getting
think
what you want.
that's why
Right.
I think a lot of us millennials are starting our own companies because we wanted to create a culture and a language that we didn't get.
Sure.
Because I have always been a workaholic. I've always killed it. I've always been number one in sales, all that kind of stuff. But I wasn't treated well. I was like never like, hey, that's great. Here's more money, or like here's a raise or whatever. There's no incentives. They're just like, what are you
Value.
doing? Yeah, there's nothing.
Right.
So like when I hire people, I'm like, no, I'm not going to give you $100 for this. I'm going to give you $1,000 for this.
Nice.
Because I know the value. I know the profit margins. I know the worth. So, but I'm going to treat you the way I wish I would have been treated
So
for the
true.
last 10 years. And I think that's why we're creating our own businesses
that's
because,
amazing.
people see us and they're like, holy shit, they're
Right.
treating me like a human being,
Right.
giving me freedoms. I want to work my ass off for this person because
It makes you want to, like,
it makes you
show
want
up.
exactly.
Right.
So that's why I started my own company.
Nice.
All the companies I worked for screwed me over.
Right.
For doing what? For working my ass off? That doesn't make sense to me. So like
So-
now I hire people and they see what I do for them. It's different.
So where did you get that mentality then? Because it seems like you switched from being a victim of your problem, right? And then you're like, you know what? Well, I'm gonna create something there. And so that mindset, what Jordan always talks about, and so it's like, how can millennials get that mindset of switching from a victim mentality to being a creator and being like, okay, well, I'm gonna create a solution out of this.
I mean, I think it's all boils down to responsibility. When I was a financial planner, I was like very victim of like this, this company, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of times it's just like they don't know any better either.
Sure.
And so it's like your job to educate yourself
Right,
and go,
right.
okay, well, what are my other options on the table? Is everybody doing it this way? Is anybody else doing it different? How could, what is it that I really want to be doing and pursuing? But I think a lot of people, I didn't even know I was being a victim. I was just pointing fingers at everybody
Sure.
else instead of going, what can I do about this? How can I better myself? How can I do my research? How can I, instead of going outward and projecting all this stuff on everybody else, it's like put the mirror back on yourself and go, okay, what is my role in this? And maybe there is a bigger role,
Sure.
which is like creating a whole new subset of an industry, or maybe
Sure.
it's opening up a whole, I just don't think you can even know until you understand what victim mentality is.
Sure.
Because
Sure.
it's so deep,
Right.
and like we are such a blame it on
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
else.
big time.
Mhm.
And so, like, that's just how we were raised, basically.
Sure.
So until you understand, like,
Mhm.
what is a victim mentality,
Sure.
because it shows up in very, like, not very, like, big ways.
Sure.
And so
Very subtle,
know
yeah.
what a victim mentality is, and then understand what it really means to take responsibility. That doesn't mean that you shame yourself